Ideally, you would want to contact people and ask, are you willing to petition in your neighborhood, or would you join us? Like, especially if they're new at petitioning, they might be kind of afraid to do it on their own. So it's great to have these kind of intro events where you target some event that you're pretty sure is going to draw a lot of people. Or a really busy bus stop or something like that, right? But you pick a day and you say, a bunch of us Greens are going to meet here together and we're going to petition together. And so if you're new to petitioning, this is a great place for you to join, and you can help us out, and you can learn from some people who have done it before, and get the swing of things. So you might want to look for some interesting events in your neighborhood. You can look in community newspapers or newsletters, especially for kind of allied activist groups. Greens work with various environmental justice groups and peace groups and whatever. And some of those groups might have some kind of event that you can go there and you can petition. Again, keep in mind the whole private property thing, and it's good to not step on people's toes, and you should ask permission and things like that, especially if it's a friendly group, right? You don't want to accidentally upset them. Say, hey, is it okay if we have a table there? And a lot of times they'll say, yeah, go ahead, have a table, that sounds great. So you could set up events like that. You could look for holiday events, for example. Well, Earth Day just passed, but Earth Day is often a very good day to look for events, because there's usually a lot of public community events that you can go to. And what better day to talk about green values than Earth Day? As I mentioned earlier, the primary election is often a very good place. So we're doing that in Pennsylvania, that the primary election is in a couple of weeks. And, we're trying to get people to sign up to go to their local polling location for an hour before work or something. And, you just stand there and as people go in and out, ask them to sign a petition. And like we were saying earlier, even though they're primary voters, they're Democrats and Republicans, most of the time they're pretty friendly, and they want to know more about the Green Party. They'll tell you how much that they're not really happy with their choices. Sometimes they come out of the polling booth, right? And they're like, man, that was a terrible primary. I didn't like any of those people. And, that's a great opportunity to talk to them about, well, you can have another choice in November. Would you sign a petition? And you can also ask party members themselves, right? A lot of our local Green Party members are in those other activist groups and things, and so they might have suggestions. And lastly, like I said, even just doing a door-to-door canvassing is good, because that's something we should all get used to as Greens. That when you're doing petitioning, you're trying to move a little bit faster, of course, to get signatures on a deadline. But ultimately, we should be regularly canvassing a lot of our neighborhoods, and not just quickly collecting signatures, but doing what's known as deep canvassing, where we're having really deep conversations with our neighbors about what kind of society we want to live in, and what are the problems does our community face, and how can we work together to fix them. And that's where we're going to really organize and build a Green Party. So I think there's going to be future trainings on deep canvassing, but that's something to keep in mind, that we should get used to talking to our neighbors about these political issues. And one way to get started is having canvassing days in certain neighborhoods where we know that there's Greens. Go knock on the doors of registered Greens and say, hey, you want to join us, right? And then otherwise talk to other people in the neighborhood about the Green Party. And if you're doing it together as a group, it's again another great opportunity for people that are new to it to learn from people that have more experience.